In 1982, Walt Disney World's EPCOT Center opened to the world. October 1st, in the Future World section of the park, 4 pavilions introduced the future world to guests. It was there that Spaceship Earth, the land, universe of energy, and world of motion gave life to the park and created its spirit. Disney Chairman E. Carden Walker uttered the words,
"Our goals for EPCOT Center are quite clear. We want to first entertain, then inform and inspire all who come here, and above all, to instill in our guests a new sense of belief and pride in mankind's ability to shape a world that offers real hope to people everywhere in the world."
Only then the spirits of the EPCOT Center took form from the new light of hope. The Disney magic in this world, in this universe, in this time, was real. And as it did for other parks in the Disney world, it gave life to the EPCOT Center. The spirits of the 4 future world pavilions were yet to rise, as it was the job of the guests to shine the light of hope onto them. In 1983, the child of tomorrow was born, Horizons. Tying together the exploration of energy, motion, and land, all taking place on the spaceship Earth, she rose up and helped the other spirits do the same. These spirits resembled their attraction. These spirits existed to keep them alive and maintain the ride's functionality, fueled by the entertainment and love from the park's guests. If they failed to maintain their post, the ride would break down. Their lack of attention to their respective rides would generate a harmful amount of luck that could damage the attraction they represent. This happened quite a lot, but not because the pavilion spirits were not interested in what they were made to do. The ride they represented and the love from the guests built their personalities, and their personalities gave each pavilion their humanity. And the human form they took, a form they loved so much they permanently assumed. In 1983, the park's mascot Figment also joined the team. In 1986, the Living Seas came to be. In 1989, the Wonders of Life became a neighbor to Horizons. And of course, the 2 great buildings in the center of the future world became 2 twins, the Communicore twins. And that, together, they were the EPCOT Center. Spaceship Earth. Spaceship Earth may be the centerpiece, but he isn't quite the heart of the park. Although his heart is pretty big enough for his guests and his love of world history. His spirit taking the form of a slightly overweight tourist, this golf ball is always happy to keep the icon of the park alive, and his favorite thing in the whole world is having everyone come together and become a much bigger spirit, known as EPCOT. The other pavilions feel like family the most to him, and he won't stand for anything if they don't get along. Like his ride, Spaceship is that welcoming centerpiece to the EPCOT Center family. Communication. As most of the other pavilions, communication is nicknamed after what their pavilion represents. But the other pavilions generally know them as the Communicore twins. West is the Communicore brother, and East is the Communicore sister. In an attempt to give themselves more human names, West named himself Weston, while East named herself Estelle. The Communicore twins are obsessed with science and technology and are always in contact with each other via their communication headsets, no matter how far or close to each other they are. These 2 fun-loving young adults never lose sight or range of one another. Imagination. Imagination is the most zany out of the pavilions, taking the form of both Figment the Dragon and other times the Dreamfinder. Imagination exhibits the core personalities of both characters, but for the most part, Imagination is mostly just Figment, the mascot of the EPCOT Center. In any situation, you can expect Imagination to show his creativity rather than his knowledge, as imagination is what's most important to him. All it takes for him is one little spark. Land. Land is a bit of an oddball. He's a middle-aged, tough, and grumpy farmer with love for trees and plants, as well as a love for organic and healthy foods, ever since the Kitchen Cabaret show opened in his pavilion. Land doesn't do much, but he always has great knowledge on how to grow some good crops. Even if these spirits don't have the proper internal anatomy to eat, for someone who lives and listens to the land, yes, he is vegan. C. C is a gentle old lady that everyone loves. She moves with grace like the waves of the living sea. She is a friend to all sea creatures and knows nearly everything there is to know on marine life and marine biology. There's never a reason to fear C, unless you hurt a fish around her. Energy. Always dressed like a knight in shining armor, Energy stores a universe of fun facts about dinosaurs, as well as all laws of energy. There's not a lot to Energy, as he always stays focused on his job and doesn't talk much to the other pavilions. He's pretty shy for someone representing Energy, although when he's happy and gets excited, he does get super, energetic. Motion. Somehow a little more energetic than Energy, Motion does nothing but move and can never stay still. With the wheels on his shoes, he zips around, loves to be free, and talks fast enough to be an amazing auctioneer. This childish teen is amazing friends with Horizons and always loves hanging out with his fellow ADHD companion Energy. Anatomy. Anatomy's human form was super easy to take, as it was exactly what they represented. The only pavilion spirit to sport human sex organs and of both biological genders as well. Anatomy never minds going by she, her, or he, him, as they represent both sides of the biological human body, also sporting a unique skin tone as to not generalize all of humanity into one. Like the Communicore twins, Anatomy is a two-in-one, as they're piloted by Captain Buzzy from their pavilion's attraction, Cranium Command. Horizons. Taking the form of a young girl, also known as Tomorrow's Child, the one who ties the whole park together is Horizons. She's a happy bundle of optimism and positive wisdom about the future, and making way for a brighter, achievable tomorrow. Her pavilion representing the futuristic innovations and research of land, sea, motion, anatomy, and energy through the use of imagination and communication, all taking place on the spaceship Earth. Horizons is the true heart of the EPCOT Center.